This is the Destro Warlock challenge. I would rate the difficulty of this one a 3 out of 5. It is one of the easiest Warlock challenges, but it is the second most difficult Tugar. The only Tugar that's more difficult than this is Discipline Priest. Um, Here's the talents. It's basic single target DPS. You can drop Reign of Chaos for Gosak or Roaring Blaze if you prefer. I just like Reign of Chaos and Dark Soul Instability. Demon Skin is pretty important for extra healing because it makes you really tanky in this fight. For macros, make sure you set Tugar as your focus and use a focus interrupt macro. You're not going to be able to pet interrupt every single fell burst. You are going to have to hard cast CCs into some of them, and we'll go over that the cadence of that on the poll. But basically, you can spell lock twice in a row whenever he's going to go into an earthquake, because him casting earthquake takes so long that it resets. Now, when you're in down phase, this fight is all about just focusing on the right things. The stalactites are going to fall from the ceiling. You need to make sure you have the worm run through 2 of the stalactites. That's the most important thing, is your positioning the worm. Because the worm, he goes in the back, he gets up, he looks at where you're at, and he charges you, and then you move. The next most important thing is the Fell Burst, which he casts a Fell Burst shortly after casting Earthquake. The next highest priority is dealing with the totem, and then the last and bottom priority is killing the ads. I'd recommend the Ravaged Seed Pod trinket from Nithendra. It's the first boss of Emerald Nightmare. It drops on every difficulty, so you get 4 attempts at per week. It's pretty easy to get. And without any ado, let's go into it. I just pop all my cooldowns right off the start. I pop Lust and Potion and everything. You can hold them for longer, but we interrupt early on. We fear here. This cross takes a while to get up, so it's okay if you don't move out of it immediately. Alright, so we're going into down phase here, so we want to move towards the center of the room. Try not to stand in the stalactites. I'm going to put my arena. Here's the worm. He's about to get up. We interrupt again. As you can see, I haven't looked at the pets at all, the eggs at all. I've only been focusing on the worm and the interrupt. We've run the worm successfully through all 3 stalactites. He only charges you twice. Alright, we're going to have to Mortal Coil this next cast. In the next cast after this, we will have Spell Lock again, but the cast after that, we're going to have to use a hard CC. The cast is going to go off. It's fine if it goes off. It's not the end of the world. There's the Fell Surge Totem. You can cast Incinerate into it. We pet interrupt here. Okay, so now we're completely out of interrupts, and we are going to have to absolutely fear the next Fell cast. Like I said, the cross takes a while to get up, so don't count. Okay, actually, looks like our pet interrupt is going to make it back up in time. We want to run that guy through 2 of them. I think we hit 2. There's the pet interrupt. And just Cataclysm here. Yeah, we got lucky. He managed to hit 2. Just stand out of the cross. Make sure you're still near the stalactite. We're watching the worm, remember? And we are going to use a Mortal Coil here. And then we're going to have Spell Lock for the next one. We're going to stun them here. And we need to be bursting the worm for them this point on. There's the interrupt. Now for the next one, we might have to CC again. I'm going to fear here. I didn't get it in time. I'm going to port to the middle of the room here. Now for this next interrupt, this is going to be a cast. I need to be ready for it. It's coming in a second. There it is. If I miss that fear, it's probably a wipe. Killing the worm's it's not that big of a deal. You just don't stand in the cross. We only hit 2 stalactites this time because of our positioning, but that's okay. That means the worm is going to have a bit of extra damage reduction. And we cast Fear on the worm here immediately as soon as it gets up. And we pop It should have 0 armor stacks, but it has 1. We're just going to pop Infernal here, and we're going to burst the worm directly. We don't want to kill it too fast, because Tugar will enrage. Tugar should die first. There's Interrupt. We're going to use Stun here. I'm going to have to CC, hard CC Tugar for the next... I'm going to use a Shadowland Sealing Pot. We want to running the worm through things isn't as important at this point. We're casting Fear for the spell burst. You know, that's our highest priority, dealing with those spell bursts well. We have Interrupt and we have Mortal Coil available. So, you know, just always keeping an eye on your Interrupt, your Mortal Coils. Dodging charge. And we Fear and we Interrupt. Have to deal with the totem. It's fine to just cast Incinerate into it. Next cast is going to be a Mortal Coil. There it is. I'm trying to get more worm damage out. And we go into down phase again. Put another pod down. And we're going to use spell, or our Pet Interrupt spell lock here. As soon as the cast starts, it's starting. As you can see, the Nithendra pod makes this so much easier. We have another, running the thing into the stalactite doesn't matter as much anymore. Still do it just to practice. Kill the totem. I'm gonna wall here, because I'm gonna have to tank this one. See, I wasn't prepared. If I didn't have my wall, I would have died there. But we have interrupts now. Alright, the worm, we want the... We're good to kill Tugar here pretty soon. Let me drop a seed pod here in the middle of these. We have an interrupt coming up. It's going to be a hard casted one. I'm preparing. There it is. I got it. We're going to Cataclysm here. Tugar's going to die really soon. We don't want to enrage the worm just yet. Put the spitter. Dodge the charge. I'm going to drain life. Spell lock. Fear the worm. We're going to pop all of our cooldowns here. We're going to need some Mortal Coil Tugar Blood Totem here. And the cast is... We'll just kill him, I guess. And we Horrify this cast. And we just pop damage into Jormog and he's going to die. But this fight can go on for quite a long time. You don't need crazy good gear for it. When I did on Beast Mastery, I didn't have amazing gear, and the fight took me like 8 minutes or something crazy. I would say the one upside to doing this on Destro is that the damage requirements just simply aren't as high as they are for, like, you know, BM Hunter. You're going to be hitting this boss for a while, but as long as you have a good CC rotation, you can get it down. Just always be cognizant, always be aware of when you're going to have to hard cast a Fear or a Stun on Tugar, and you even have an oh crap button with the Unending Resolve. Just as long as you focus on those things and you aren't getting distracted by totems, you aren't getting distracted by things that don't really matter, you will get this fight down.